I'm Raghu Kiran. Welcome to Visionary Voices, where business and leadership are revealed. Today, I'm pleased to invite Mr. Arnab Guha and Neha Tyagi, who are the founder and co-founder of Impeccable Innovations Ltd. Collectively, they have near to 40 years of experience working at top companies like Heinz, Britannia, Novozymes, Mother Dairy, Unilever, and so on. They have two verticals, Sportify, which is predominantly focused on gluten-free, health-focused food, and IIPLEM, a marketplace for nutritious products. They have a philosophy, food as a medicine, and they both aspire to win India's highest civilian honor by 2032. Arnab and Neha, welcome. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you. We are honored to have us on your platform.
No, it's a pleasure. In fact, thank you for your kind words. In fact, I'm thrilled to have you on this podcast where I'm excited to delve in both of your experiences and insights, right? I've been following your company for a while and your work is truly inspiring. And I'm sure our listeners will greatly benefit from your journey as well.
Thank you.
Look, interesting. I always say that every entrepreneur has an interesting journey behind it, right? There's always a great sense of purpose. Why? So I wanted to understand what's your purpose, right, collectively, and what's driving you both as a person, and what has prompted you to create and evolve this company called Impeccable Innovations.
The purpose was not clear till I was 35-year old. So today I'm 42 plus. So the purpose we could understand very, I think, few years ago. And basically, what I can say is Impeccable Innovation Private Limited, the main purpose is to serve the humanity, giving a holistic health view to our consumer. It can be through food as well as through non-food items. And just to tell you, my own brother, he's currently 36-year-old. He's 6 years younger to me. Raghu, you will not imagine, he's currently working in Union Bank as a manager, married to a normal lady for last 5 years. But the interesting part is he is having cerebral palsy from birth, and he is spastic and with quadriplegic. That means his two hands, two legs are compromised, and he has 70% of his motor system damaged at the time of birth. So this has been something which has been growing in me when I was a child of just 6 years when he was born. And over the period of last 2-3 decades, slowly, I think the thing has imbibed in me that we need to do something for the society, especially for the special children in some manner or the other. But as you know that the life goes on, we go with our career development, education, then career development, then family. So sometimes the basic, the purpose is still there in front of you, but you're not able to do something about the purpose of your life, and sometimes you are not able to even identify the purpose of your life. Okay, like I'll say that Sachin Tendulkar or Lata Mangeshkar, they found the purpose of their life very early, but it took me when 35 years to actually do something to understand the purpose and then work towards it. Okay, so that's why we started working in the space of autism and cerebral palsy after 3 years of this startup. And the first 3 years, as you know, we were giving consulting services, techno-commercial consulting services to food and beverages company of small and big size. But then we realized that how can we work as a scientist? We both are food scientists. How can we work towards food as a medicine philosophy? And that's how we started our journey of Sportify in 2019. And going forward, we started the second business leg, which is the IIPLEM.com, just as a passion project within the company. in 2022, post pandemic.
But
And that's how the genesis of our startup happened way back in 1988 when my brother was born. But actually, the realization happened just recently, just 6, 7 years ago. And fortunately, I have my wife and my co-founder here, and she is full time in our company as a CEO. And I'll let her also talk about our journey.
Yeah. So I think one big insight which I would love to give, and I always believe in that, is that there are a lot of ways to earn money. There are a lot of way outs there to basically gather money, and it's much easier as it used to be earlier. It is much easier today. You can become an influencer. You can become anything, whatever you want. It's much easier. But you know, if there is no purpose in the story, and if you don't have any purpose as such, nothing to look forward to as such apart from money, then I don't think you are truly doing justice to your human avatar. Because you get, after so many yonis, you get this human avatar. If you're not utilizing it to the max, or for the purpose of what God has sent you to deliver for, then you are, your job is not finished, right? And I think I'll echo with Arnab there, because even I was also not very clear about my purpose till the time we saw this window. We realized this, the self-realization thing happened. I think for Arnab, it was his brother. For me, it was my son,
okay.
hospitalized severely for asthmatic attack in 2016. And I remember that the moment that, he was in my hand, and he just, his eyes were like, rolled up totally because of the attack. And it was a severe attack. And then we rushed into emergency room in the hospital. I just cried like, okay, put him on oxygen. I didn't know anything. I just cried aloud this thing. And then I said that, okay, put him on oxygen. We were, running post to pillar to pillar for this particular thing, that okay, we need some resolution around it, we need some sort of fix to for this thing for my son. But there was nothing much. We were actually struggling. So fortunately, through researches, we were able to identify that, if we fix certain food items, if we fix certain dietary patterns in a child's thing, then there is lot of improvement that you see in asthmatic or such kind of inflammatory responses of the body. So we studied around it, and then we practiced it in reality. And then we saw that, okay, it is giving a breakthrough. We were actually seeing a lot of improvements. In a 2 weeks time, we were amazed to see tremendous performance, tremendous, impact of the. So we saw that not only our child, there's so many kids, there's so many people in the world who are being impacted, who are impacted through asthma or other kind of inflammatory responses of the body, which are much severe. Not only asthma, there are much severe things which are there. So why not help them? Yeah. So it was much later in my life as well when I saw that, though it was not the same experience which Arnab had, but I'm lucky and I'm fortunate, and I thank my stars that, we have a combined goal. Somehow we have a similar, because this, my son, obviously, it's our joint, this thing, right? So we have common agenda, we have a common goal, we have a common purpose, which is rare, I would say. So I really thank my stars.
And I have to say, this is one thing I enjoy what I do is because capturing these kind of moments, right? When you talked about the purpose, and especially your purpose is quite transcendent. It's way beyond material things, what you wanted to do. You wanted to, your purpose is aligned to make a difference to the community, to the society. In fact, make a difference to people's lives, right? And somewhere, hearing your story, I could see and I could feel that based on your previous experiences, what happened with Arnab's brother or with your own son, you understood there needs to be certain change. As you rightly put out, Neha, there needs to be change where you felt in the way we consume food, the dietary, right? And I could see all the dots were connected, and I could say because you come from similar background, you both have. Nobody can beat the kind of experience that you have, right? Nearly to 40 years of experience working for top brands is no easy feat. Having that kind of an experience, it's it's not it's not easy. what you're trying to do, right? And I could see, and your journey is remarkable. And talk me through, and going back onto that purpose, right? I know you all wanted to make a difference in people's life. Is there any particular sector or segment where you feel like your products are aligned that can make a difference to people's lives?
Yeah, I think after our research, what we have found that the space which is called non-inflammatory foods or anti-inflammatory foods is something which is very much needed in today's world. And that's why it's not like serendipity, but it was a planned way of going towards that section through the brand of Sportify. And what we have stuck to our vision that we will not launch any food products which can harm the child's health. And it's a central theme of our startup is autism. And once we have done a thorough research of autism, as you know that I have been an inventor in 5, 6 patents and international patents, and some of them are grant patent. So we do a lot of thorough research. We both were classmates, incidentally, during our masters when we were doing MSc Food Tech from Haryana Agriculture University, Hisar. So having been in the journey of academics and then industry and now startup, we found that inflammation is something that not only calls for public attention, but I think through food and proper lifestyle, these can be managed along with, let's say, a medical doctor who has an empathy for their patients and giving the right set of medicine in case of emergency situation, because not everything can be controlled by food and lifestyle. In certain emergency situation, you also need allopathic or Ayurvedic drugs. So I feel that inflammation, if you are able to control inflammation in your body, almost 85 to 90% of all disease you can cover. And everything is somehow linked to inflammation, and inflammation is linked to leaky gut, which maybe I'll come later in the show. But leaky gut inflammation revolves around our central theme. And as we are a young startup, bootstrap startup, we are focusing on very specific area in the initial next 5 years, which are in space of autism, which are in the space of diabetes, anemia, and cardiac health. So we want to touch only these 4 or 5 area. And as you know that gluten allergy or celiac disease is anyway a given. It's almost more like a hygiene business to enter into those sectors. So I'm not talking about the direct sector, which our products are anyways tailor-made, but something which are indirect, like anemia is an indirect, autism is an indirect sector. Okay, so this is how we are building on
So what you
Spotify.
think, Arnab, is the root cause is predominantly is the inflammation, right? The kind of products that we consume, it can have directly or indirectly related to some of the common, well-known challenges that as children that we are seeing. So is Spotify specialized, what you say, is in gluten-free products? Is that what you make a difference in people's life by bringing in gluten-free products?
Yes, we missed your last few sentences.
Okay.
Can you?
What I mean to say is Spotify, is it is specialized in bringing gluten-free products?
Yeah, so we have found that the one of the major point of inflammation is the gluten in modern day time, and also any protein which is related to gluten in the structural molecule. So all our products are plant-based. So there is no milk in it, no egg in it, no chicken powder, no soya in it, no corn in it. Okay. So some of the things which we think has a structural similarity with gluten protein. So we don't include those in our products. Neither we add as an ingredient.
Okay. Just are there no plant-based gluten-free products, Neha, in this market currently?
There are, when you mentioned dosa, right? So
Yes.
dosa, idli also, except if it's not based on rava thing, they are gluten-free in nature. So there are existing lot of gluten-free options. They have been historically present. But what we are different in is, Arnab can explain it pretty well. So yeah, so there is a differentiating factor there,
Okay.
where from other existing or historically present gluten-free products.
Than 35 brands in India. I'm not talking about US or others. Within India also there are more than 35 brands which are selling gluten-free products. But as they go along in their journey, they also sell products with gluten, because once they taste the success in the market, and then they want to cater to larger market. I feel many brands, they compromise on their vision, because obviously the TAM increases, the SAM increases. But what we found as a startup, as a bootstrap startup, that if we are focusing on a particular leg, we have to keep our feet only in one boat.
Mm.
Okay, you can, in Hindi we say, just as a proverb. So same way, you cannot be in one leg, you're talking about why gluten is not suitable for certain individual, and in another breath you say that you can have gluten as much as you want. Okay, so you cannot have what I can say, a hypocrisy little bit on that term. But that's why I say that, why are we different from many other gluten-free brands who are purely gluten-free, is we are focusing on the diversity of ingredients,
Yeah.
which is constituting the protein and the fiber. So more you have a diverse fiber, more you have a diverse protein, your gut bacteria is able to feed. If you have, let's say, a one type of fiber or a one type of gluten-free protein, etc., then only certain section of your gut microbe will get nourished. Rest of the microbe will not get nourished that much. So that's why in many times what we have seen, that the diversity of the ingredient list is very low. And from our research, we have also found out that if those people, I'm now talking about those people who cannot have gluten, like gluten allergic people, gluten intolerant people, celiac disease, people with celiac disease, they cannot have gluten. Okay. Now, if they are fed with low diversity ingredient products, they may end up into cancer within a decade, because uh, the microbes, when they eat the fiber, they secrete certain biochemicals in our gut, which is called SCFA, which is short chain fatty acid. Now, what this short chain fatty acid does, it kills the cancer cell in our body. Once it is released in the blood, it travels across the body of a human, and wherever there is a cancer cell, here, there, wherever, it is like making a stain gun, and like a specific stain gun, killing all the cancer cells in our body every minute. Can you imagine? That's why, example, you or me are not having cancer or a tumor in our body, because maybe our diet is good enough to be, our body has enough short chain fatty acids. But let's say those gluten-free products which are not having enough or diverse fiber or certain proteins, then those people, they cannot, they may end up into cancer in a decade or so. And this is something which is public doesn't know. But in our YouTube channel and in our communication, offline and online, we have been communicating that. And there is no question about the price of the product. See, when you are already compromised or having a sensitive to gluten, you cannot say that I want the cheapest product. No, here the question is about survival. Okay. But the thing is, as Neha told, that in the morning we had a great breakfast at Rameshwar Cafe. correct? In idli dosa, it's a purely gluten-free product. And which in South India, I've been in South India last 18 years. I was in Chennai, as you know. So in the South Indian cuisine is rich in gluten-free products, right from spices, right from dal, right from rice. And slowly, we have migrated towards the North Indian diet, which is rich in the wheat, barley, etc. So that's how. I hope you get a semblance that why our Sportify thing is different is we are going so deep into the formulation and the science and the human physiology and the biology of the gut. That means not a single ingredient if we use in our formulation, it can hamper anyone's health.
And it's clearly evident, right, Arnab? By the way, thank you for that. It's clearly evident in a way because you come from you both are scientists in a way, right? You have that kind of diverse experience. You understand the market. And personally, me, and I could see by speaking to a lot of my friends and my family members, these days, inflammation has been a biggest challenge, right? Everybody are facing in one way or the other. I don't know, post-COVID, we are seeing this as a trend is the gut I to be honest, I never knew this was existed earlier, right? Until unless you get a problem, then you start doing research into it. And I could see personally, and I personally changed my habit, and I've seen a lot of changes in families as well. And gluten-free product, in some cases we don't like competition, but in this case, as a pure of the more competition the better in a way, because it's an awareness, right? More people are aware of having gluten-free products that's plant-based is the way to go for them from a sustainable lifestyle standpoint, right? And I really commend you in a way what you're doing. I've had a chance and pleasure to look at some of your beautiful testimonials that you presented in your websites and in your Instagram. You're really making a difference in people's life. Ultimately, that's what it is, right? I mean, if we are making a difference in people's life, there's nothing can beat that. So I have to really commend you. But I would like to, and you made an interesting point. You both met academics, right? And you both have worked in a similar industry. Now you both running a business. Are you not tired of each other seeing yourself?
So I think if you're talking about if you're asking about the fights and all those things which usually happen otherwise also, yeah, they happen, they do happen. And I think
Every day
I think it's more about the mismatch of the opinions. Yeah, there's definitely an argument around the opinions because I think Arnab is he's very straightforward, cut to cut on things. Like, this is how it is, like that. For me, it's like the emotional perspective will come in, the empathetic angle will come in, a lot of things will come in, and then that's how I'll make a statement. So we are not like, aligned on each of the statement, each of aspects, but it's always good to have two different opinions. I would say it'll be really bad if somebody has very similar, similarly aligned kind of opinions. We don't want that. We want diversity. So when he throws something at me, like, okay, this is his point of view, we look at it from a holistic perspective. Even though if we have some argument, after 5 minutes, we'll have some conclusion around it. We'll have one position, we'll have it together. So it's not like that it continues for the day, and I have a thumb rule that I resolve the things, whatever happens, it gets resolved in the same day. So we don't carry it for the next day. That's how it has been our rule since ages, I guess.
And one of the important point, Raghu, here is we are both from different communities. Okay, so our upbringing has been quite different and diverse. So here also the diverse of our upbringing, you can see in our communication or in our brand ethics. Okay, I'm typically a Bong and a Bengali from Delhi. So in Bengali we say Probashi Bangali. So who are not born and brought up in West Bengal. So I'm a Probashi Bangali, always lived in Delhi side, and she is from Meerut, that is in Uttar Pradesh. She is Tyagi, I'm Guha. So anyways, there's a quite total diversity as you can see. But even during our college, I clearly remember there was a class of biostatistics. So in our third semester, there was a class of biostatistics. I was sitting behind her and saying that Neha, कुछ एक अपना company चालू करते हैं after our MSc. So why can't we start our own company? See, why need to have a job or so? Okay, so these were the conversation we were having. But by the way, I had actually by that time I had already proposed her. But the thing is, uh, we were not from a financially rich background, or we were typical middle class type of value both of us had, and we didn't have enough finance as a family. What we say, family push or something. So we had to make our own money before we started IIPL. Correct. So this has been journey. So today, whatever you are seeing today is all, I think, self-made, but definitely our family has been pillar of support, both my in-laws as well as my parents. And so this is how. And also one of the beautiful thing which maybe you can touch upon is the role of family. Uh, Maybe in your case, you can also share some little bit of nuggets, how family has supported you. I can also tell our journey, because you see, the family is so important, even more important than the business idea altogether. Yeah. Investors come later. Consumers come, before investor. But before everything, your family member have to buy in your idea, or give you some time to explore your risky journey as a startup or a business owner. Let's say if your family is not at all in line with your vision or yourself, okay, then for that entrepreneur, it is a Herculean task to have some success ahead. I'm not saying that those people who does not have family, let's say an orphan who is doing a startup entrepreneurship, it's not that he will not succeed, but definitely he may find little bit tough going around. So same way, if you have a family, if they're not supportive enough, so I think it's a very tough journey. And fortunately, by God grace, we both have a good set of support. And I guess it's now 9 years around. So we are about to complete our 9 years of bootstrap startup ship, and that's how it's going on.
This is amazing, and I love the way you both complement each other, even though the diversity, right? I believe that you balance the brain and heart of your business, logical side as well as the emotional aspects of this side as well, right? And that diversity is what is helping you take your business to the next level, growing from strength to strength as a business, right? You're
Yeah.
absolutely right, Arnab, and I think and in fact, that was part of my curiosity in terms of uh, every entrepreneur, when they decide, right, there needs to be a support or backup system that helps you, because at certain point in life, there are challenges about to happen, but that pillar of support is what it helps you to go above the line and drive forward, right? And in my case, that was the case, which I enjoy. And without my family support, you would never go. And in fact, that is what I like to inspire, get the stories, right? Because everyone, when they start with a lot of ambitions. The purpose is driving them to become what they want to become. But in this whole process, there is a perception and there is a reality, right? When the reality comes in the picture, or sometimes few startup companies, they run out of cash, right? And they will go back to the normal. And in some cases, people don't have any idea how to scale the business. They are very good in one, like product inventors. They're very good at product, but they understand there's so much of learning I don't know how to do sales, I don't know how to do marketing, I don't know even if my growing, what kind of leadership skills I need to bring in. There's so much of knowledge gap or time gap. And during these times, right, you always need a pillar of support. Somebody is helping you to move your business forward as well. So on that note, I would love to understand what has been your biggest learning over the last 9 years, and what advice you would give to aspiring leaders who wanted to start their entrepreneurial journey.
So I think there are so many learnings, it's very difficult to, and each and every learning, small or big, is like building a block of your startup. Like if there is no brick, if there is a weak brick, the whole house will fall off. But what I can say is that the main learning I have understood in the startup journey is control your liabilities. I feel, having seen, I think, thousands of hours of podcast of the greatest gyan or the gurus of startups, right from Steve Jobs to our Indian founders, those who have made it big, all the Bansal friends of Flipkart. So I've watched so many things. What I am sanguine of, okay, I'm now saying as a scientist, and we as a scientist never speak something very frivolous, okay? So whenever we speak or write in social media, it is with a lot of substance behind it, okay? So what I feel, not a single startup can fail. It's a major statement I want to make here. Not a single startup can fail if their vision is aligned to the purpose of their life, and if they can control the liabilities. If they don't have the what we say quick fix type of attitude to become Ambani overnight, okay? Today we are seeing, what is happening in the Gen Z area or the late millennials area is, after seeing the success in IPL, when we have seen so many rack to riches story, overnight, someone getting a contract of 1 crore, 2 crore in IPL cricket. Today's young generation wants to make it big quickly, okay? Because maybe they are coming from a very humble background, and suddenly they are seeing money, and seeing them, others also want to earn money. They don't want to go from a grind of, let's say, 3 lakh rupees per annum to 6 lakh, then 15 lakh, 20 lakh. They directly want to jump to 1 CR. Okay, that has been the major issue. Fortunately, I think we are coming from a different era of 1980s and 1919, where we have seen so many development, right from first radio, then TV, then internet, mobile. So we have seen, we are the lucky chaps, I guess, those who are born in 1980s or 1990s, that we have seen a journey of innovations and journey of serious development in place. Okay, so that's why what I say is, if the entrepreneur or the budding entrepreneur can have a appetite of slow growth in the initial phase until he is sure that now he can hammer the market. Okay, till that time, they have to go very slow, keep the liabilities low, never compare against any other startup in this world. Just try to do your own job and try to understand the problem. One of the best in their field means they need to be the best in understanding the problem. Solution will come automatically, I feel. What is happening today is people are young and old. I'm not saying only the young, but young and old, or people of our generation in the 40s. They are trying to have a lot of superficial understanding of the problem. One of the major goal is when we can come to Shark Tank. That's a new revolution which has happened in the last 3 years. So that's not the case. If you want to solve a problem as a startup, there is no question of having a Me Too company. Okay, any Me Too company, any Me Too offering, the MNCs will gobble up those startups. But if you understand the pain point, if you understand the problem well, and if your life goal is also aligned to it with a personal pain point, I feel those startups will succeed in a longer run. And whenever a budding entrepreneur is looking to take that step of starting a startup, I feel they should sign off at least 10 years of their life to that idea.
Now, this is impressive, Arnab, and I really love the way you given that tip as well. Is all about controlling the liabilities, right? There are times where you get into stuck zone, right? There is a zone where you're stuck, and for you to go about beyond that stuck zone into momentum zone is we were discussed in terms of having that support ecosystem that you have that in the form of family, right? But the key thing as a business owner or as any founder needs to know, have that financial business acumen to even know how to control the liabilities. Don't what advice you've given is don't see yourself scaling without not building,
Yeah.
right? We get the fundamentals right, become the mastery of those, get that fundamentals right, and then after gradual growth, then you look at scaling your business for an exponential growth. These are absolute great insights. As they always say, right? If sales is sanity, profit is vanity, and cash flow is the reality. Your business is only dictated by how much business it's making, profit it's making, right? I This is very funny. I would love to share as well, right? I do speak to a lot of business owners and founders and everything, and I always believe that until unless your purpose and passion and profit are aligned, you never running a business, right? I've seen some business owners who are very good about purpose and having that passion, but they don't have that financial acumen of generating profits as well, right? So if you're really generating, if you wanted to build your business, right, get that three piece aligned. When you get that aligned, you get into it. And this is something I've learned from the other people. Uh, but in your case, I'd really love about you got a passion, you got a purpose, and you got that financial acumen as well, right? You know how to control the liabilities, and you also know how to generate profits in the coming months and years.
Got from my father, who is also incidentally our co-founder. So he has worked in bank for 38 years.
Yes.
He was so forthright in his banking career that he had 21 transfers in 38 years. You know, in banking job, not even a 1 rupee here and there he has done in his whole career. And the same values has been imbibed, and also that's why me and Neha are very much attuned to how much cash we are burning, how much we have at our hand, and how much we aspire to do, and how much we know that we will crack in next 12 months or so. So those things are pretty clear, and many realistic target that we have. And 9 years is good enough time for any startup to understand where we are heading to.
This is quite impressive as well. Like you've given us already a lot of interesting insights, Arnab and Neha. And looking back, right, what would you would have done differently? Right, people, we always have to reflect at some point, right? Sometimes we want to do reflection, wish I knew this knowledge earlier. I wish I could have done this better, right? To accelerate. So what I'm trying to achieve here is every entrepreneur always has that self-reflection. So people don't repeat the same mistakes. You know what I mean? So if you're welcome, if you feel like anything like sharing, if looking back, is there anything that you would have done differently? And if so, why?
I think I can share one or two, maybe Neha can share one or two. One of the major thing which I think we could have done differently is starting itself with Spotify rather than
Okay.
going for a consulting services for 3 years. The positive side was we got to interact with so many business owners. Some of them are running a show of, let's say, in the scale of 7,000, 8,000 crores. So as we are not from a business family, and we don't have any distant relative who is at this scale of business, okay? Understanding or spending some good few minutes also, you get to understand how they think, how they scale, why they don't fail. So these were some things as a consulting service, as a consultant, we were giving that company or that owner of that company. So those were positive. But I think if we had started the Spotify at least 2-3 years ago, I think it could have accelerated our journey towards the thing. But as I think one of the major thing is when God has planned you certain things, you will not get those things beforehand. God has planned your journey. Okay, because as we are working with so many autistic kids, we also feel that we are in the stage of nirvana where uh, God is making us do some work as a startup entrepreneur. So this was one of the things that had we started the Sportify earlier, we could have even reached to more set of consumers, maybe one or two from your understanding, if you can tell.
I think apart from it, I don't think I would change a thing, to be frank, Raghu, because I believe that, like Arnab said, it's a journey which God has designed for us, and He found us eligible candidates to, to basically get the things done through us. That's how I get it, and that's what gives me energy every day. So I'm more towards spiritual side, I would say, and I truly believe in all these things that it's not us. We are just kind of puppets placed in different places, and it's one man who's sitting there, one man or woman, and they're driving us through all these channels. So I believe that I wouldn't change a thing because he has kind of plotted that whole thing.
Okay.
The day I was born in Meerut, it was a very closed, kind of community. I have been brought up in a very closed kind of environment. I was not allowed to go out after 6 or so. So, right, beginning from there, having been able to, study my master's, it was a far-fetched dream, the community where I come from. And then doing a job, being a girl, you're doing a job. It was again a far-fetched dream. Then marrying a boy of your choice. So I believe that all these things were already, big
Testing.
testings from God's thing. And I've learned at each stage. I've become stronger at each stage. And I've learned a lot through Arnab, via Arnab, because his brother was not part of my life before him, right? I got to know a lot of things and all this empathy and these things I got aware once I got married to him. After that, I studied, right? My son happened to be like this. So I think this was God's plan altogether to get these things done by us. So I wouldn't change a thing. I believe in learning. I believe in daily learning. And I'm sure that God will connect us to, the right people at right, like He has connected us to you. So we are learning day by day.
Beautiful. Really beautiful, Tim. I'm really enjoying this conversation because I could see your purpose is coming across in every word that it is coming across from both of you, right? Because there is a deep sense of purpose, and I know you want to touch many people's lives. And finally, what aspirations you have set to yourself, right? What difference you want to make? Let's say in the fast forward 5 years down the line, what is that you have set yourself personally for yourself and for the society and community?
I'll tell you. Can you answer me one question? Then I'll answer you.
Sure, please.
Humans on this planet Earth, as of now, approximately.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Sorry.
How many humans are there in this planet Earth?
Oh, how many humans are there? That's interesting. You're making me think. I know India and China population. If I had to take that, maybe around 7 billion, roughly.
No, it's currently, I think, 8.2 billion.
8.2. 8.2 billion. Wow.
Around 8.2 billion, and 1 billion people on this planet Earth are disabled.
Wow. Okay.
And disability means all types of mild, moderate, blind, or any type of physical injury, cerebral palsy, autism, and so on and so forth. If I club everything, it is almost 1 billion. So it is almost, I think, 16-17% of the human race. And I'm not talking about disease. Okay. I'm mainly talking about disability.
Yes.
So we want to touch at least 10% in next 5 years. And that means it's not a small TAM. It's a very big TAM. If you see the potential of our product. Jeff Bezos started Amazon, I guess around in 90s, somewhere mid 90s or so. He started with the purpose of getting everything online sales. we are going one step ahead. We say that we are going to sell good products which we think is good for humanity, and we will not like a what we say, a gatekeeper in a innovation funnel. We will be the gatekeeper of right products to humanity through our online space. And that through our online space, brands like Sportify or other brands that we will eventually launch, it will happen. But we definitely want to touch 10% of the disability population of this planet Earth in next 5 years. And also the general population, see, for the general population to get aware of the why health is so important through lifestyle and food. Uh, it is just I think in next 4 or 5 years the population will be ingrained to it because of the pandemic that has happened in 2020. The repercussions will start to happen in next 2 years or so. That's why we think that the general population, rather than trying to educate the general population about the value of health and wellness, we need to only focus on disease and disorder. Okay, because that's itself a huge market, I'm saying. And in India, almost 45 to 50% Indians are having at least one disease or disorder, at least one disease or disorder. And I'm not talking about only cancer, only diabetes, only anemia or lactose intolerance. I'm saying that whatever the total disease Indians have, 1 in 2 people are unhealthy. So it's a big market if you see the potential of our product. And obviously, for people or for the world to know about Spotify, it will take time. But we have started the marathon, and we have started from the marathon. It's a marathon. I'll say it's not like a 100-meter sprint that quick. And so we are looking how we are working.
I think one thing.
Okay. So
So what I was saying that almost a big population of Indians are having a state of disease and disorder. It's 1 in 2, in my opinion, if I add up all the disease together. So in the 140 crore Indians, almost 65 to 70 crore Indians having some or the other health issues.
and it's very interesting what you said, right? We all wanted to thrive for good health, but somewhere we don't pay
Can you
attention.
hear?
Yes, brilliant, Arnab. This is great. As I was saying, right, we all wanted to become healthy, but somehow, somewhere, we're not paying attention to the kind of food that we are consuming, right? It's so simple things, just having the plant-based, gluten-free products, controlling your inflammation can have a direct or indirect effect on a lot of things that we see in the market, right, from a disease or anything. And I see these days the gut health is been a big challenge. What I see in my family, and I've heard from my friends, and somebody has to do something, and you're the one who, with a strong purpose, you're making a difference to the community, you're educating the market, you're making a difference in people's life, and your story is nothing but incredible. I mean, 9 years of hard work, right? 9 years of the continuous ups and downs has literally helped you to become what you need to become as an organization, and you're making a difference. But thank you, Arnab and Neha, for your sharing your wonderful insights. For audience who wanted to capture Spotify, I'll share the link here in the description box for them to check out some of their plant-based gluten-free products, and also the incredible work they're doing, especially when it related to diabetes or autism, right? And thank you, Arnab. Thank you, Neha.